go ahead and redo. Let's go ahead and redo our tool with using listeners as opposed to the simple stuff. All right, so I have here. Let's just clear some of this up. We're just gonna go with our. Let's go with the graphic of me. I'm sorry, it's a silly graphic, but it's from my website. First thing you may have noticed that we definitely need to get an ID. We need to make sure everything has an ID. So we'll call this picture 01. All right, just because that's going to be our first picture. And what I might want to do up here is I'm going to say, okay, pic 01 is equal to document.get element by ID, which ID? It's going to be pic 01. Okay, cool. So pic 01 is that. Now I'm going to type pic 01 dot add event listener, and then what am I going to have happen? So in the demo video, what he did is he would say, okay, click, right? That's when something gets clicked on. What are you going to do? Well, they would then write this on the fly function. So here, so do this thing right here. In our case, we're going to console.log. What are we going to do? We're going to say the picture has been clicked. And we'll clear that up and that. And then I think I have to do one more of these. Yes, and that. Okay. So now if I go over to my web page, refresh it, bring up my web console. If I bring up my web console, I'm sorry. It's not what I want, but this will work. Did not work. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I really should drink more caffeine. So, web developer, web console, clear. Click on this. This is on an image, right? So I was able to do this thing. Oh, look at that. The picture has been clicked. Two things, they're competing. Let's get rid of this one. All right, let's try again. Pick one is null. Do you know why that is? It's not going to work. Because when this gets defined, there's no pick one. Because look, as it loads the page, it says all this stuff, pick one equals document get element by ID, pick one. Pick one hasn't loaded yet, so it doesn't really work. So you can do a couple things. One, which is not always the best thing, but you can do, is you can move the entire script to the end of the web page. That's definitely one way to do it. Let's try that now. The picture has been clicked. The other way is another event, which is the onload. So you can put all your stuff back in your head. And on body, onload equals. Maybe you create a function called init, which stands for initialization. And you might put all of this stuff at the beginning. At the beginning. I know somewhere there's a way to indent that. Okay. If that's the case, then we can try this. Clear. Picture has been clicked. This is a super common way to do stuff with a web page, is to create a function called init for initialization and use a simple event on load to call it when the body has loaded, and then that way everything works. Sometimes people will also put some notes in here like page loaded. Lost my page there. Page loaded, click, picture's been clicked. So we can string together these events in a useful way for us. All right, so this is a super basic add event listener. Just to break it down for you one more time, this is the object. We're defining an object. In this case, we're defining pick1. That's the get element by ID. So then we're telling pick1 to add the listener. It should listen to click, which is function console.log. The picture has been clicked. The other reason that these are powerful is because you're able to now add additional event listeners without making a crazy URL at the bottom. So let's do, I'm going to say over. I don't think that's the right word for it, but we'll see. We'll try it. The mouse is over the picture. Let's see if that's what works. Page loaded. Click that. Page loaded. Okay. And click. The picture has been clicked, but it is definitely not mouse. It's not over. It is actually mouse enter. Load our page over here. Clear this chunk. Oh. So click, mouse enter. Mouse enter. So we're able to string together and again link multiple event listeners to one object. This becomes powerful as we go on later and we start to dynamically create objects, which we'll do next week. We're going to be able to create an object so that you can add event listeners, and all of a sudden these things that are being attached to the screen, you're going to attach things to the screen. When they're attached, you can add event listeners, and you actually start to have the power of almost something close to a video game. So why don't you go ahead and click next, and we can take a look at what the assignment is for this week.